So Ilya, Isabel, thanks for joining me today to shoot this video for our C4C community.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Greg. It's good to be here with you.
Sure, always. So this is the first of a series of videos that will share with the community all the great things that we offer to our constituents to help support our fundraising drives. This video is about our website. The Center for Christogenesis website is really a central resource for our community. I want to talk about some of the great things we have up on the site. And so Ilya, first, your articles are a true source of inspiration. Isabel and I hear about them all the time, through the comments, through the email, and they're a source of personal inspiration for me every week. So can you share what you think the importance is of those articles on the website, what you've been trying to do there, and what you've been writing?
Yeah, thanks, Greg. Well, we live in an age now where technology can extend ideas and our thoughts on the world to a much greater outreach. So it's a blessing in this way that we have the internet and computer technology to advance ideas. As a theologian, I have spent a lot of time reflecting deeply on the questions of our age, the struggles of the human person, the way the earth has become, in a sense, uncared for. And as a Franciscan, as one who really believes in the power of God's ever-presence, it is a deep concern to me that we have become so fractured and divided. And so a lot of my blogs are trying to invoke insights and meaning and understandings that can help us deepen a sense of God presence, deepen a sense of belonging to one another and a belonging to the earth, and deepen a sense of trusting that God is with us into a new future and that we have the freedom to co-create this future. And so the blogs, I think, my intention with the blogs and with the writings on the website are to advance ideas that help us reflect on life, the depths of meaning, which I refer to as religion or spirituality, and where we're going, our future.
I have noticed that dual focus in a way. You don't pull any punches. You are sharing, the true struggles that we're going through, whether it's COVID-19 or whether it's climate change or inequality. You address these things straightforward, but you also don't settle there. You frequently say, be not afraid, look to, this source of depth, this source of inspiration, this inner spirituality. And it seems that it is an important balance for you to make sure that you're saying what truly is happening, but also giving people a source of hope.
Right. Yeah, thanks. I think for too long we've had this notion that religion is a supernatural type of endeavor, or God is beyond us. And, from a deeply Christian perspective, we're the incarnation, where God's becoming flesh, God becoming materiality. Matter is important. In other words, matter matters to God. And in fact, there's some way of even saying maybe even without matter, God would not be fully God. We couldn't even know God apart from matter, quite honestly. And so what the world of matter becomes matters to me, and it should matter to all of us. I want to get us out of this kind of layering religion over us and reweave it as part of our DNA, where spirituality of that energy of connectivity connects us to a ground, a personal ground that we name as God, a ground of love, a ground of compassion. And I think that is, it's a struggle today because, we know the maxim, I'm spiritual, but not religious, meaning that we have a yearning to be connected. We have that energy of connectivity. And I found a lot of younger generations seeking to express that energy, whether it be in works of social justice or works of care for the environment. And all of these are wonderful endeavors. These are all indeed spiritual endeavors. And I'm just saying we can take that one step further and say that spirituality of the earth or spirituality of justice is grounded now in a source of that energy that we name as God, who is present and future. God is never in the past. God is always the future, right? Because God is always the fecundity of life. And a lot of my efforts are try to reawaken a new vitality of religion, to get it out of that narrow framework it became boxed into, and to kind of liberate religion, to liberate God. I think we need to free God, from from the way we've boxed God into categories as old, as male, as judgmental, as hovering over us and watching every single move, and the kind of God that a lot of scientists, a lot of people in the world have rejected in some ways, because they said, I don't need that God, I don't need a God who's going to hover over me and tell me that I did it wrong. And that's just not God. We made that one up. I mean, the God of Scripture, the God of the Bible, is anything but that. I mean, the whole of the Old Testament is like, oh my God, you messed up, but I'll be with you, because I am your God, And it's like, wow, this is amazing. I mean, it's like God allows all these bad things to happen in the Old Testament, and then God is like, oh, please don't go, really, I need you, like, come back to me with all your heart. I'll be here. In fact, I'll come and get you. So, and that's the whole point of the New Testament. We don't go to God, as Thomas Merton said, God has come to us. That's the beauty. So we try too hard sometimes. I think religious people have tried, we've created narrow categories of belief, of faith, like do this, don't do that. Oh, God's going to punish you. And I'm like, that is not God. That is certainly not the God of Jesus Christ. It's the God who says, hey, I love you, as you are. Wow, isn't this life fantastic? It's so messy, right? No one really likes one another. But it's okay, because we are in this together, and we're going to do something new together. And that's the beauty, I think, of the Christ event. Something new is emerging in our midst, not in spite of God, but precisely because God is here. And God is luring us on to something more with God.
Now, part of your sharing that something more on the website has been from the beginning to bring in guest authors. And that's not just people sharing a similar spiritual message or a contemplative practice, but also people writing from different domains, technology, biology, so on and so forth. Why is that important? I get the sense that this immanentizing understanding of a transcendental is something that's necessary to talk about in multiple domains, not just religion as if it's some kind of hermetically sealed domain of life.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, as and as hope our followers know, that our Center for Christogenesis follows the framework of Teilhard de Chardin's vision, and Teilhard being an incarnational thinker. In other words, it's God matter. It's a God world, meaning that every aspect of the world, from politics to technology to economics to sociality to world religions, all of these, God is active and alive and working towards bringing everything into new being, into more unified being. And so I do think to be religious today is to be fully involved in the world. That's what it means. If we're really God-centered, we're really concerned for the world. We're concerned what happens politically. We're concerned what happens environmentally. We're concerned what happens to the poor and to those who are disenfranchised, to the marginalized, to Blacks, to Redskins, to Yellowskins. These are our brothers and our sisters if we truly believe that God is here and alive in our lives. Because God is that center of love. And I think, following Francis of Assisi, to know God at the heart of my life is to know God at the heart of every aspect of life. And I think the one who truly believes in that God presence in one's own life, those walls of separation, they divide, they blur, they go away. There are no walls of separation. Where there's God, there is love. And where there's love, there's unity. And where there's unity, there is the hope for new life. And so, Teilhard would say, get involved. He thought Christians he was speaking from a Catholic Christian perspective. And he said, too passive, too withdrawn from the world. Don't hide in your own cubbyhole. This is the world that God is seeking to emerge through, to be born in, as we approach Advent, the coming of God. And all that we long for can only be brought about if we awaken to the depth reality, the God depths of our own lives.
I think part of that awakening, Isabel, is all the community discussion we see on the website. I know you're so deeply involved with all the comments coming in, and I was hoping you could share a bit about what people are talking about. What are they looking for? What kind of comments do you find coming into the website every day?
Yeah. So Ilya was just talking about longing. Those people are longing for a new story, a new theology, a living, dynamic theology, not a static theology anymore. They are really starving for that and taking in consideration all the scientific discoveries of our time. So they want something new. They are longing for it. And a lot of times they are saying that Ilya is putting into words what they're thinking, what they're feeling, but they don't know how to put it together on their own terms. And Ilya is giving words and shape to that longing. That's one very important. It gives them a sense of going home. A lot of people talk about that. Finding C4C and the work of Ilya give them a sense of going home. Some of the words who keep on showing up is beautiful, challenging, inspiring, nourishing, encouraging. And just recently, a nun from the UK wrote that email. She said, I listened to some of Ilya's presentation on the cosmos. It hit me right in my gut. And it's almost as if my mind exploded. My time of prayer has changed and expanded. I don't know what else to say. I can't explain it, but I know it is what I needed to hear to embrace developing knowledge of the universe, while at the same time trying to relate to God, to a God who is personal. So that is the type of experience that the people who are, working through C4C are finding. And at least someone today, and I quote her, she said that she was moved to tears to have found Christophany groups. Because this is something else that the people are looking for when they go to our website, is to find groups, to find communities of like-minded people with whom they can share their thirst, and their learning and wrestling with your ideas together. Because this is not the type of conversation that people have often around the dinner table or at the checkout counter. So finding people like them who have the same interest is very helpful to them. So they find a great sense of community to the website. In a way, go ahead.
No, please.
In a way, the website is like a base camp, if you want, it's where people go to get their tools, get their content, share with others their stories, their experiences to move up to the summit, so to speak. So this is a really good point of, the website is their point of entry to get all those resources and all this companionship to go forward and to move up the ladder, so to speak, quote unquote.
I love that. I love that image of summiting, right? We're all summiting together, right? We're all looking for this wisdom and this experience. We all have this longing, and this website has acted for years now as this tool to really let the community know our ideas, bring ideas in from other domains and other thinkers, other scholars, other practitioners, and really share it with the community, and letting them have an opportunity to ask questions back, to have conversations with each other, to meet each other. And then that goes into so many other things that we do as well, the webinars and other things that we'll talk about in some of the upcoming videos. But on the website, we have these videos, these events, news, all these different resources. It's the central location, this base camp, like you were saying. Well, I'm excited to announce, as you both know, a new resource that's coming to the website soon, Weekly Meditations. These will be weekly emails created by Isabel that will feature selections from Ilya's work and also be available on the website. So Isabel, tell us a bit about these weekly meditations. What are they officially called, and what are they going to look like? And what are the things that people can expect from them every week?
So this is a really exciting new endeavor because it will come to people's mailbox once a week on Tuesday. And it will be almost like a Lectio Divina with a body. So there will be a quote from Ilya. But then instead of, too many times, we just read one quote and move on to the next and then to the next. So we really read with our mind, but not with our body. So the intention there is to be able to really, number one, to read the text every day. Because we all know that if we reread the same thing over and over again, new insight rises, and new content show up. That's why I'm calling it, it's almost like a lectio for the body. And added to this, we'll have some bodily practices to kind of embody the text, basically to use all our senses to ground the words into our being, and then to have this guide us moving forward out in the world. So for instance, some of those practices can be just read the text aloud. Because when we read aloud, we hear our intonations, the pauses, and all of this tells us something. So this would be one of the ways to embody the text and to learn from it. We could also take the text with us taking a walk, or we can journal, obviously journal with it. So the encouragement is to really move the text from the head to the body, and just to stay with it for a whole week. And it's a challenge because it will be short. It will be like 3 lines long. So it will be very interesting to see if reading it day after day, just like you dig a well, the deeper you dig in the well, the fresher water you find. So this is the invitation with those weekly meditation. The name is still up in the air, so I won't divulge anything yet. But look for it in next year. I think January 4th will be the first one to come out.
That's great. We have to keep some secrets, right? Can't have everything released all at once.
You have to keep it, You have to keep it some excitement and some mystery.
Right. We've got to build the excitement. Well, Ilya, what do you think about this new series? Obviously, we're featuring your work. It's a new way of getting out what you've written and bringing it to our community and letting them interact with it and internalize it. Just what are your thoughts on the new series?
I think it's excellent, really. And I really am very grateful to Isabel for really bringing this to life. And even the way, Isabel, you framed it, the body, being part of the thought. So we're not disembodied heads, that what I read and understand here now becomes of, who I am in my arms and my legs and my eyes and my ears. And that's really good. I love that because it really brings in the material, like matter, the matter energy that we are, and therefore, how do those words on a page that convey insight get translated or transformed into our material active energy bodies and the way we go about the world and see the world and respond to others in the world. And so that's really, I'm very excited about this. And I really very grateful really to Isabel for really honing this, sharpening it and launching it. So I'm your humble servant here who will come up with some ideas.
Well, we work with good material, so that makes it much easier, obviously.
That's right.
Yeah, it's excellent, really. Yeah.
Well, it's an exciting new feature for a really exciting website that's gotten a lot of traffic, and that traffic has grown over the years. So I just want to say thank you to the community for being here, being that traffic, showing up every week, every month, reading these emails, internalizing, hopefully, these new meditation series, whatever they may be called when they're launched in January, and for really being devoted followers of the work that we're trying to do on the site. So thank you to all of you in the community and to Ilya and Isabel for taking the time today. Thanks.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you.